Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for HunterxHunter. The 4th episode.
Yes.
Moving right along.
Hope and ambition.
Hope and ambition. So everyone's got their hopes. Everyone's got their ambitions.
Especially Gon.
Well, yeah, but all of the main characters. But they're not all going to get theirs, right?
No. That does not seem to be the case.
No. So with this exam, we're getting into that brutal territory where people are going to be heartlessly cut off and not going to succeed.
Up.
Yeah, Hisoka's got some terrifying powers.
Yes.
There.
Yes.
I'm guessing that's more of just the first aspect of the powers being used rather than his is actually that terrifying or unique, really.
Okay.
That we just haven't seen any yet.
Now, what if Hisoka became a hunter before Gon, and then that would be like the great way to discourage Gon from being like, oh no, I want to be a hunter, but there's this monster that became one first.
Possibly. I don't know where you're getting that hint from.
Well, just that, Hisoka was a runner-up the last time, right? But he got disqualified because he almost killed one of the examiners.
Right.
But if he didn't get disqualified, right? If he basically, ended up beating Gon, and like you were saying, maybe only one person gets in, or not very many people get in, right? And Gon and crew don't get in this year, that would be a great way to sort of dash some of Gon's hopes and dreams, because he sees hunters as being this super noble thing. But if someone like Hisoka can become one, then maybe not.
Yeah, I feel like... I don't really know what to say with regards to that, because it seems like they're setting up Hisoka to be just the power ceiling right now.
Sure.
He's just the strong one right now.
Yeah, okay.
There's nothing about this that says that they're going to disparage Gon anytime soon. It's just that he's going to learn more. He's going to mature more.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see how Phase 1 kind of pulls its little twist with the automatic disqualification.
Yeah.
Because like I mentioned previously, HunterxHunter has that aspect of being a very simple, upfront kind of show with the premise and everything. But there's always some clever trick behind everything.
Right.
And I'm really excited to see what the clever trick is behind this one.
Me too.
All right, so let's get into it. Yeah. And he's running in a suit. It's a gathering of monsters. Ah! Genius!
Oh, that's just great.
Yeah.
Don't lose your breath, Leorio.
Yeah, it's not an endurance test.
Me too. Oh, yeah.
Internal monologue.
Oh.
Oh, it's a pride thing. Oh, Leorio. He's gonna help him, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So Gon helped him without actually helping him.
Right.
Nice.
There you go.
かっこいい。後で俺にもやらせてよ。スケボー。 化してくれたらね。
Brutal.
キロ地点を通過しました。
Yeah, right.
ゴン、どっちが先にゴールするか競争しないか？いいよ。
Of course.
勝った方がご飯
Get
一回
some
おごりね。
rivalry going.
Yeah.
乗ったよーいったハンターになりたいのは本当に金が目当てか。確かにお前の態度は軽薄で頭が悪いだが決してそこが浅いとは思わない。金儲けだけが生きがいの人間は何人も見てきたが、お前はそいつらとは違う。火の目とはクルタ族特有の特殊体質。感情が
The scarlet eyes that she hides.
瞳が燃えるような
Right.
深い火色になるんだ。
Yeah.
Didn't their navigator have red eyes
そ
though?
の火色の輝きは世界
Oh, the navigator, yeah.
一つに数えられるほどで、ブラックマーケットで高額で取引される。
Wait,
Jeez.
they're actual eyeballs.
幻影旅団に襲われたわけか。
打ち捨てられた同胞の亡骸からは一つ残らず目が奪い捨てられていた。
Okay.
今でも彼らの暗い瞳が無念だと語りかけてくる。私は必ず幻影旅団を捕らえてみせる。
Capture the phantom troops.
That's very generous
仲
of
間た
you.
ちの目を全て取り戻すんだ。
それでハンターに。
ああ、金持ちの契約ハンターになればブラックマーケットのさまざまな情報を聞き出せるからな。
俺の目的はやっぱり金さ。
嘘をつくな。
嘘じゃねえよ。
まさか本当に金でこの世の全てが買えるとでも思ってる
You
の
wanna
か
know？ what can you buy with money?
物はもちろん夢も心も人の命だって金次第だ。
撤回しろレオリオ。クルタ族のことを言ってるなら許さんぞ。
なぜだ、事実だぜ。金ありゃ俺の友達は死ななかった。
Yeah, there it is.
病気か。
決して治らない病気じゃなかった。
There you go.
問題は法外な手術代さ。俺は単純だからな。医者になろうと思ったぜ。ダチと同じ病気の子供を治して金なんかいらねえって。その子の親に言ってやるのは俺の夢だった。笑い話だぜ。そんな医者になるためにはさらに見たこともねえ体験がいるそうだ。分かったな。金だ。俺は金が欲しいんだよ。
Right.
お先にクラピカ。おっさん先行くぜ。
おっさんじゃねえ。俺まだお前らと同じ10代だ。
He is?
Really?
え、嘘。俺のペースについてくるなんて結構やるじゃん。そう
That
っていう
face.
かみんなのペースが遅いんだな。はあ、こんなんじゃハンター試験楽勝かもな。つまんねえの。ねえ、キルアはなんでハンターになりたいの？俺別にハンターになんかなりたくないよ。
Oh, what?
ものすごい難関だって言われてるから。
So he's just doing it for the
He
challenge?
did it for fun.
Wow.
けど拍子抜けだな。
Doesn't necessarily mean
Look
it's
at
the
Hanzo
end.
at the front.
He is a ninja after all.
Yep.
さて、ここまで一体何人がついてこられたでしょうか。
Wow. They tie?
俺の勝ち。何言ってんだ。俺の方が早かっただろ。俺だよ。俺だって。俺の方が早かったんだから。キルアご飯おごって。いや、早かったのは俺だ。お前が飯をおごれ。
He's just like, did a couple of 12-year-olds come in
どっちが
first?
早かった？
私の目には同着に見えましたね。
そっか。じゃあ俺がキルアにご飯おごる。代わりにキルアが俺にご飯おごって。
There you go.
なんだよそれ。
Some kind of forest.
Okay. It's could be a lot harder to follow him through here, because if they lose sight of him, they don't know which way to go.
Right.
Whoa.
Wetlands.
Swindler's
Even worse.
Swamp.
ここを通っていかねばなりません。この湿原にしかいない奇怪な動物たち。その多くが人間をも欺いて食料にしようとする狡猾で貪欲な生き物です。十分注意してついてきてください。騙されると死にますよ。
Okay.
Oh, crap.
騙されるな。そいつは嘘をついている。
Wow, they're already
そいつは
getting
偽物だ。
Yeah.
試験官
fooled
じゃ
by
ない
one.
俺が本物の試験官だ。偽物？どういうことだ？じゃあこいつは一体？これを見ろ。
うわサトツさんそっくり。
ヌメーレ湿原に生息する人面ザルだ。人面ザルだ？人面ザルは新鮮な人肉を好む。しかし手足が細長く非常に力が弱い。そこで自ら人に化けて言葉巧みに
You're telling them your trick, bro.
Yeah.
他の生物と手を組んで食い殺す。そいつはハンター試験に集まった受験生を一網打尽にする気だぞ。
Yep.
え、
Yep. Soka solved that one pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was him.
No, I think that was Hisoka. Yep.
なるほどなるほど。これで決定。そっちが本物だね。
Oh.
Yeah.
しかし次からはいかなる理由でも私への攻撃は試験官への反逆行為とみなして即失格とします。この先ヌメーレ湿原の中は霧が深く、一度この私を見失うとまず二次試験会場へたどり着くことはできない。
Oh, there could be dozens of them all
Yeah.
では
moving
参
like
りま
that.
すよ。ついてきてください。
Okay.
So,
The exam continues.
the exam continues.
What'd you have for notes?
They take the Kurta's eyeballs.
Yeah, which are scarlet or red eyes, and they sell them on the black market for money.
Yeah, that's okay.
That seems a bit trivial to me, but in terms of the fact that these guys would kill an entire group of people just for
Just
money.
to harvest their eyeballs.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, there have been pettier things that are, there have
That's
been more
true.
horrible, pettier things that have been done in history. It's just,
I just wouldn't have expected that from this show, and especially not so
Yeah.
early.
I think what they're showing is kind of the harshness of people that have power but use it in an abusive way like that.
Yeah.
That they just maybe want a little bit more money. Who cares?
Sure.
Killing some people. It's like that's pretty rough. It's pretty rough.
Great
And one of the-
contrast for how Gon is right now.
Well, see, we keep saying that we're contrasting how Gon is right now, but we keep seeing more and more evidence to the point that we need to stop looking at Gon as the entire focal point for the story. One of the
Sure.
things that this is hinting up to be is an ensemble cast,
Yes.
because we have all the other characters as well, but also a dual character kind of setup with Kahlua being the other main character.
Okay. Sure.
The two Kurapika and
Leorio.
Leorio are pretty clearly going to be kind of
Side
pseudo main
characters,
characters. We're getting their backstory now because it's kind of that time in the story where we can talk about those things.
Sure.
And we got maybe just more context for Kurapika, but Leorio actually got a empathetic backstory.
Yeah, I
where-
liked that. That was really good.
He's wanting the power to change things, and
Right.
money is just the way the world works. So he needs it. And he needs it not necessarily for his own means, but he needs it so that he can be ready in case something like this happens again.
Right.
It's not like he wants to be a doctor still.
Mm-hmm.
It's that he wants the ability to choose, if he wants to be a doctor.
Right.
He kind of wants that freedom.
Now, the fact that he didn't originally say that, and not just saying, okay, I want money. He could have just left it at money. But he embellished and said, I want money because it buys things, it buys sake and stuff like that.
Right.
So does that mean that maybe he's trying to project a certain, kind of persona?
For what reason?
Because he thinks it will be maybe more successful in helping him get money?
I don't think so. I think if anything, he's trying to keep people at a distance. If you lost someone close to you, you have the potential to not really get over it, and you have trouble opening up to people again.
Okay.
In a way, because you're worried about fear of loss.
That makes sense.
It's a very real thing. We got Aunt Mito. It was his aunt that was watching over him.
Which begs the question of...
But is that his father's sister or his mother's sister?
And if so, where's the mother? Did she die tragically, a long time ago?
Unfortunately, in most kind of shonen anime, there is at least one parental figure that is not actually ever really going to be shown.
Right.
And I could see the mother being that, unfortunately. Aunt Mito kind of fulfills the same role as the mother of being... the one that's kind of cared for him most of his life, despite the fact that his father's never been around. So, yeah. It's a little bit interesting, because if his father was a hunter from 12 on, or at least he passed the hunter exam, it kind of begs the question that when he was a hunter, he then went and met his eventually, wife, or, Gon's mother. And that kind of makes me think that she was a hunter too.
Yes.
A huntress,
So could it be something where she maybe died in battle or something like that?
Well, I just think that she's not around anymore. It gives a plausible reason as to why she wouldn't be around, because she was a hunter or huntress as well.
Yeah.
And stuff happens.
Right. Now, if it was something where she ended up dying, right?
Sure.
Then could it be that the reason that Gon's dad valued being a hunter so much was because he knew how dangerous it was, and he sent Gon away, to live with his aunt, so that he could
possibly
fight the bad guys?
No, possibly, but I feel like there's usually more to it than something simple like that, especially with shows like this. They kind of built up his dad to be someone legendary and someone of note, like special note. Like you got that vibe, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
so maybe they're gonna go for the disillusionment type thing.
What?
Where Gon's father isn't actually that great a guy and all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that Gon's father isn't some noble, great, person or anything. He's just a guy.
Sure.
Just a guy. It's kind of like Hohenheim from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Right.
He has a dark past, maybe Gon's father does as well, in that he had to kill a lot of people in order to actually become a hunter.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe he had to do some things he wasn't comfortable with, and maybe being a kid, or having a kid, and being a father just doesn't fit into his, worldview, so he just sent the kid away. Just pure and simple, just like...
Now, what do you think about the idea that Kahlua is doing all this for fun, just for a challenge?
Yeah. This gets my This gets my vibe going of Kahlua being the one with the insane backstory.
Okay.
So because we have Gon's backstory, very simple, very, very typical. Kahlua's, I get the vibe that
it's compensating for that.
It's very, very heavily stacked on his side of things. Like, he says he's been trained. What does that look like? if he's been 12 years old and he's been trained already,
And
you know what that means? He's been trained to become something.
Right.
Like he's being trained to be something powerful. So
Right.
I get the idea that Kahlua is like, he's surprised Gon is able to keep up with him. You know, it's like, oh, you're 12, just like me. I've been trained. You're keeping up with me, so you must be pretty good. So he has that instant respect for Gon, being like, we're equals to some extent. So I'll stick around with you. But what I get the vibe is that Kahlua is someone who's really strong. Like his backstory involves like rigorous training. Like he hasn't been preparing for the hunter's exam. That's just something he's doing for fun.
Right.
So he's been training to be something that's not even a hunter. So maybe he's trained to be something that's beyond that. Like,
all right.
And the hunter's exam is like, who cares about that?
Yeah.
Maybe even his family was like, no, you will not take the hunter's exam. That is stupid. He's like, but it looks like fun. It's said to be really hard. He's like, but you will never have to do that because we train you specially with, us. And they're like, he's like, well, I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. He just takes the skateboard and just goes.
Sure. I got the vibe that, so the whole thing of like the poisons not working on him, that's not something that happens accidentally. Unless you have some sort of magic power that stops it, that's something that is like I've spent years developing an immunity to iocane powder, right?
So he's been taking micro doses of all kinds of poisons and stuff his entire life. Who does that? Like someone who's a killer,
or people could potentially do that if they were trying to almost create something.
Oh, I actually thought you were going to go the vibe that he's some kind of royalty and tons of people have been trying to kill him. So
that could be a thing.
They've been preparing him for his role, so to speak. He could be the prince character. You know, that one character who's kind of the Zuko, He's got that, I have a lineage to uphold, and I've been trained my whole life in order to be the best, but I just did this and ran away because I thought it would be fun. That would be kind of interesting, but you're thinking of creating something, so you're still going for this artificial human thing.
Well, yeah, because and mainly it's the hair thing, but like, but just because he has the white hair, that like
that doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But the idea of him being extremely capable, like almost abnormally so, that's something that tends to go along with that whole white hair, trope, and the fact that he can resist poison, that just seems to add more to the idea that he is certainly not normal. And
none of them are normal.
Well, yeah,
that was the point that Leorio made, that this was a gathering of monsters. I think that was last episode.
Yeah.
But just these guys are crazy.
But I could see it being something where someone was trying to basically, and maybe this is just because we've been watching My Hero Academia with Endeavor, this whole thing, but I could very much see this being something where Kahlua is the culmination of many years of trying to create the perfect specimen or something.
I could see that being the case. Kahlua doesn't seem to be the character that was formed with some kind of ill intent, though, and I think generally when they create the perfect being in that regard, it's usually for some sort of evil intent.
Okay. I mean, you still have characters like Penny, but yeah.
No, but Penny's a very rare example.
Yeah,
and also true. Penny was probably created for nefarious purposes, just FYI, if you kind of look deep into that.
Right.
But Kahlua wanted to do this for fun. So Kahlua is still a human being that wants to have enjoyment out of life. And I think he sees that Gon gets enjoyment out of life, so he's kind of hanging around him. But also he's relatable because they're the same age. So I wonder if Kahlua's thing is that it's about the mystery. It's about not knowing for now. And we're not supposed to be able to guess what it is right now. It's just that there's that air about him.
Okay.
There's that air of something special.
So do you think, in maybe a similar way to how Hisoka has some developed powers, do you think Kahlua has some developed powers as well?
Absolutely. I think one of the few people in this show that doesn't have powers is Gon. I think Gon is one of the few people right now that doesn't have powers.
All right.
I think almost every other character has some element or semblance of power.
All right.
Maybe not Kurapika and Leorio, but I would be surprised if they if they didn't have a.
They didn't.
They
could do
did
some
have
cool
powers,
stuff.
yeah. So, because that allows us to learn about how the powers work by the eyes of Gon. So as he learns about it, we learn about it.
That is very true.
But no, Kalua's been trained, Jacob. Yeah. Kalua's been trained.
Right.
So at the very least, he's probably one of the strongest people at the entire Hunter's exam right now.
Now, how do you think they're going to avoid the problem of if you have someone that's really powerful, that's on, you know, friendly terms with the good guys, how do you keep there from being conflict, like real conflict? Because if so Kalua is looking at this whole Hunter's exam thing, and he did it because he thought it'd be fun, but now he's getting bored and he's like, oh, this might not be challenging at all. So how do
he
they
just instigates challenge intentionally then?
Sure.
He decides to make it harder for his own enjoyment.
All right.
You know, it's the person that intentionally handicaps themselves before a fight because they don't see it as actually being a challenge. Okay. I think also they're making a point of that Gon's keeping up with Kalua. So this is easy for Gon, too. It means that they can slowly escalate the struggle and having things go a certain way.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that no one's really alone in this conflict. It's like that shapeshifter guy trying to make them be dissuaded. And
he still had his buddy with him.
No, I'm saying that guy wasn't able to dissuade anyone because of Hisoka ruining the ruse for everyone.
That's true.
So people are unintentionally helping each other by just kind of being there.
But that could change once they get into the foggy forest.
No, I say it's going to change very quickly. It's going to change very quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any other huge notes for this episode other than Hisoka has some cool powers.
Yeah.
So he has cards that can kill people. And those weren't piercing very deep, so those shouldn't have killed them. So there's there's some aspect of this that makes me feel like this is more stuff copied from Ruby, you know? That the quirks or the semblances or the powers in this universe are related to people's souls, and things that, like those cards, are just manifestations of it.
Sure.
Or they're imbued with the power of their soul in some way.
Okay.
And that's why Hisoka has that deck of cards, because they're all infused with his own powers or what have you.
Yeah, I could see that. And it totally reinforces the whole power ceiling thing that you were talking about.
Right. Yeah. Hisoka is right now the strongest person that we've seen, but I would put to guess that Kalua or Gon, but preferably Kalua is the strongest person right now.
Okay.
Because he's the only one that's had training.
Well,
as far as we know.
Yeah, as far as we know.
But the idea that, Hisoka is the obvious kind of strong one makes me think that he's not the strongest.
Sure.
It's actually someone we have unverified, undocumented training with Kalua, and that's like, oh, what could have happened there? Who knows?
Well, and with the way Hisoka is drawn, he's not drawn to be someone that you would expect to be overwhelmingly powerful.
No,
he's more
someone that's like a trickster.
Right, a trickster, which means that if he's not the most powerful person there,
he's one of the cleverest.
That's fine, because he can be the cleverest,
right?
Where his power isn't his true power.
Yeah, I get the feeling that Hisoka's true strength will be his just perfect reasoning, like the way he determined exactly how to see through the ruse in the fastest way possible by just killing both of them, and whichever one can block the attack. They were a hunter, so they're the real one. But there was the possibility, he was fine with the possibility that neither of them were the examiner.
Oh,
see?
That's
okay.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
So while Hisoka's powers are strong, I think what he represents is his application of his powers and his intelligence to be able to decide how to do things quickly. Kurapika has the same ability to be able to reason things out quickly, but needs a little bit of time to kind of verbally process it out. Maybe not really verbally, but just kind of process it out and kind of walk through his own logic. Gon, in that respect, is not that quick to adapt to these things. he senses things,
and he relies on that a lot.
He relies on that a lot, but he doesn't seem to be quickly applying any of that.
Right,
and that
like,
just comes from lack of experience, I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay. Overall, another great episode, because now
Yes.
we're moving things at a clip pace. They didn't spend like 5 episodes on the long running thing like they did in Dragon Ball Z or something like that. That would have been awful.
That would have been a mood killer.
They slotted in backstory for
They did.
our 2 side characters, but they also tantalized a little bit of extra kind of context for backstory with Kahlua and Gon.
And I'm very happy that they're doing that, because when you have a big ensemble cast like this, a lot of times you can focus more on just introducing the characters and showing them doing things rather than showing why they're doing things. And they did that for 3 characters this episode, you know, because they also did it for Kahlua, even though it was like really quick, which is impressive, and that makes me very optimistic moving forward.
But what it also does is it repeats itself on characters that we've already had the development for, and adds extra context to it, like Kurapika and Gon.
Yes.
Because if you just gave us the backstory once on Leorio, for instance, but you never brought it back to the forefront again, it would feel a little bit cheap.
Yeah, lose its impact. Yeah,
it would lose its impact. So this was handled very well.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Me too.
All right, guys. If you want to check out the next episode, go check out the link in the description for our Patreon. You can watch it right now. But we'll see you again next time. Until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.